What's going on, everyone? Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here with a fun outlining show surrounding Casey Hayward replacements, the latest injury news on him, plus some other Falcons news to get to on today's show. So a lot coming your way, but I want to start the show off with a rather important subject we have to address right now, and that is Blink's Fire Gaming. I think he's the president of the notification gang here at Falcons Today, and for the last 12 days, he has been volunteering to take Thomas Mott's spot, who, I mean, if you guys have been living under a rock, you know Thomas Mott has moved on from Chat Sports, so we have been rotating around, filling in here on Falcons Today. So here's what I'm going to say, Blink's Fire Gaming, and everyone else, by the way, who falls under this umbrella. I want to start a new segment on the show for you guys, where I want to get your comments on screen. So if you want to be the host of the show, by all means, comment what you think the Falcons should do, your takes, all that good stuff. The hotter, the better. And each and every show, we'll put a couple of your comments on screen. That way you can be day 12 of taking over Thomas Mott. No, you can be Thomas Mott, except you won't sound like Ben Shapiro. All right, let's get into it. Marcus Mariota. Congrats, Mariota. He won NFC Offensive Player of the Week. That's his 5th time winning that award. I'll be honest, if that was a trivia question, which quarterback in the NFC has won it 4 times, now 5, I would have gotten it wrong. Did not know Mariota had won it that many times, but he absolutely deserved it against the Niners. He was accurate as hell, completing nearly 93% of his passes, 129 passing yards. Granted, Arthur Smith isn't asking him to throw the ball 35, 40 times, but when he does throw it, he's finding his target. 50 yards on the ground, 3 total touchdowns to go along with it. Remember, Cordero Patterson got it back in week 3. So people like myself who wrote the Falcons off going into this year, credit to you guys who have stuck by him and believed in this team and in this offense specifically, because they have put some playmakers up here. So for Marcus Mariota balling out on Sunday, helping the Falcons knock off the Niners on the road, hit that thumbs up icon. That way the Hawaiian Prince can feel some love from all the Dirty Birds fans out there today. All right, let's get into the injury news now surrounding Casey Hayward. This is a big bummer. Hayward's been doing awesome this year, kind of flanking A.J. Terrell on the other half of the field. He has been placed on IR with a shoulder injury. Now, we don't quite know how long he'll be out for. We know it's going to be at least 4 weeks. That's the minimum when you get placed on IR. Will he be activated as soon as the 4 games are over? We're going to have to wait and see. I don't really think anyone right now in Flowery Branch knows, so we'll have to wait and find out. But Casey Hayward, like I said, has been fantastic this year. So if you want to start talking about replacement options for him, the first replacement really is no replacement. He's not, Darrelle Revis at his prime, but he's been a legit CB2 for this Falcons defense. I'm looking at Darren Hall, 4th-round pick out of San Diego State last season, who saw limited action in his rookie year. He played a lot of snaps, of course, taking over from Hayward on Sunday against the Niners, and I thought he played an awesome game coming in off the bench for KC. So Darren Hall is the first and obvious replacement choice, and that's who is going to be the replacement, at least in the short term. But what if Terry Fontenot and Ryan Pace decide, we are really pissed at that one Falcons YouTuber filled in for Ma and said this team wasn't going to go very far, so we want to go out in the trade market and make a big splash? How about William Jackson? This is kind of an obvious name because he asked for a trade the other day from Washington. So I'm guessing the Commanders are in a spot where they want to be sellers going into the trade deadline, which is less than 2 weeks away. And William Jackson, who had some great years, former first-round pick for the Bengals, simply said, I'm not a scheme fit. I don't fit well here in Washington. And Michael Smith from Pro Football Talk tends to agree, right? Jackson would like to leave Washington, and the Commanders have engaged in trade talks that would send Jackson elsewhere, according to NFL Network. The trade deadline is November 1st. Now, William Jackson himself said, I never said that. I never said I want out. I love my teammates. I love being around the guys. This is one of those moments where you got to not disregard the athlete or the player, but remember, it's not easy to say, like, I want to trade and then go into a locker room with 52 other players and it feels like you're kind of quitting on them or giving up on them. So I'm not going to say William Jackson's absolutely telling the truth or he's lying. I'll leave it up to you guys to kind of read between the lines. But if the Falcons do want to make a trade for a corner to replace Casey Hayward, where I don't really think they need to, it's not like it's an automatic season-ending injury for Hayward. But if they do decide to go this route, I do think Jackson is a name to watch for. Now, I'll let you guys be Fontenot and be the GM for me. Would you trade for William Jackson? Simple Y for yes or N for no down in the comment section below. Personally, I would pass. It's not like Jackson has been awesome this year. I want to see what you have in your younger crew, right? That next man up mentality. All right, next Hayward replacement trade. Maybe you don't want to give up a pick. What about free agency? That costs you nothing except vet minimum. And here comes the Jack Rabbit. I believe Janoris Jenkins' legal name now is Jack Rabbit Jenkins. So we have a new Ocho Cinco of the NFL. But Janoris Jenkins could be a name to watch for. Last season, played in 14 games, had an interception. He is not the Jack Rabbit we all remember. He had that one spectacular season for the Giants. Since then, it's been a bit downhill. But in his career, he's got 8 interceptions ever in return for touchdowns, 27 altogether. This could be one of the names that you see are a player that comes in for a workout because the GM just wants to see, are you still in football shape? Because we know you're not in football shape for a full season. That's why we didn't call you back in August. But now that we're halfway through the year, we don't need you for 17 weeks. We just need you for 5 or 6 to get us over until Casey Hayward can come back. So this could be a name worth watching. Now listen, I'm not a scientist, but I can tell you this. The Falcons, they have rattled off some wins. And here at the channel, Nick Roloff, the new guy at Chat Sports, who's behind the computer, behind the 1s and 2s on this channel, quote unquote on Sunday, said it's a fucking wagon when referring to Falcons Today at Chat Sports. So let's reward the guy. Hit that big red button. He has been grinding for you guys, doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Hit that subscribe button to support Nick, or if you just want free Falcons content. All right, next name to watch for. Nick wants to go back to the trade direction. So we go to Sidney Jones, the Seattle Seahawks cornerback who is kind of losing his job. Seattle right now, a little bit like Atlanta, is exceeding everyone's expectations, especially after they traded Russell Wilson. But Sidney Jones has appeared in just 3 games, former second-round pick for the Eagles, 45 total snaps. Tariq Woolen has taken his job. That's the rookie corner out of UTSA. You might remember him from the good old draft days. So with him kind of stepping up into a bigger role, Sidney Jones all of a sudden seems very tradable for Seattle. Now, the last 4 seasons for Jones coming into this year look like this. A year ago, no interceptions, 66 tackles, but he did have 10 pass breakups, a career high. 2020, 2 interceptions, same in 2019, but 2018, nada. So Sidney Jones is not a name that's going to come in here and be a huge upgrade from Casey Hayward or even fill his shoes all the way. But again, if Seattle just wants to get rid of the guy and all they ask in return is a bag of footballs and some Moneyball stuff, or, I mean, even semi-pro, just send him a washing machine, maybe then you pick up the phone. All right, so that's Sidney Jones. What about the next replacement option? How about Malcolm Butler, a one-hit wonder, Super Bowl legend, a free agent? I mean, I think we should probably just kind of get this out in the open. I think he is essentially retired. Now, he signed with the Patriots before camp. He got injured in camp. And what the Patriots did was they did him a favor. They released him with an injury settlement, which means he can go sign elsewhere. Whereas if they put him on IR, he would have been kind of trapped on their roster. So, Malcolm Butler, absolutely a long shot to sign, not just with the Falcons, but with any team for that matter. But he's got a long career, that is for sure. And in 2020 with the Titans, he started every single game. He had 4 interceptions. So if the Falcons think they can capture something that he had 2 years ago, maybe it's worth seeing if he is still in shape. At this point, I'm sure he is enjoying retirement, sitting on his couch and not working out every single day. But it could be worth a shot if a couple games into the trying and find Casey Hayward replacement project, you decide we might need to go external to fill his spot opposite of AJ Terrell. All right, choose a corner for me. We talked about 4 today. If you guys had to pick one, right? gun to your head moment, who would it be? Trade for William Jackson, bring in Janoris Jenkins or Malcolm Butler, or call the Pacific Northwest and see what Seattle wants for Sidney Jones. Put the initials for the corner you would like to see the Falcons go after if they decide to go external to replace Hayward. All right, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure you don't leave without liking today's video. The reason why we asked this is because the way YouTube works is the more likes we get, it's going to promote this video to more Falcons fans, and we can grow the channel more, and we can get more studio space for all of you guys and get you more Falcons content. It's a one big YouTube circle of life, and it's a win-win for all of us. So hit that thumbs up icon, and we'll see you guys later.